latest and great news. You're saying we shouldn't even care about it.
No, I mean, you should care because I want to talk about it, but we're not
Okay.
worried about it. And really, this is not going to impact anyone directly. Florida's got some scattered storms. That's about it. And there's a rip current risk off the beaches, but that's it. Here it is this morning. It's sitting about 300 miles away from New Orleans. It's sitting about 285 miles away from Fort Myers. That's a good distance from all land. And this thing is now heading south. You can see the past kind of track of this thing as it moved to the north yesterday, slowed down and then wobbled back down. So it's doing everything we thought it would do, and it is battling some shear. We think the center is about there, and then all the rain is displaced thanks to some wind shear. Hurricane hunters, they just took off from Keesler over in Biloxi. I think they'll get out there at about 6 o'clock, anywhere from 6 o'clock to 6:15 this morning, and they're going to let us know if it has 40-mile-per-hour winds. If it does, it would get the name Arlene. If not, well, then it stays a depression, and if it doesn't intensify in the next probably 8 hours or so, well, it's not going to do it. And notice by this weekend, Saturday into Sunday, it's moving into Cuba as a remnant low with really no huge impacts there, I don't think. So this is the track, and that track is odd, right? For the Gulf of Mexico heading south. It just happens to be our steering currents, and oftentimes when we have a system, they don't form in the northern Gulf. This one formed in the northern Gulf. It sat there for yesterday, and now the upper level winds are coming on in from the north. Typically in hurricane season, we have more of a southerly flow coming on in around a ridge of high pressure. Well, this time we have a trough of low pressure over Florida. That's pushing down on this thing, and that's what's sending it to the south. So I tell you what, if we could get a trough to sit up over Florida all summer long, that's not going to happen. That would help us out, and it would save the United States from any tropical threats that are in the Atlantic. But in this case, it is going to help us on out. And that storm will eventually slowly turn the remnants of it towards the Bahamas into early next week, but shouldn't be a major issue. Here at home, we're doing okay this morning. It's actually in the 60s on the North Shore, 70s on the South Shore. Radar is nice and quiet. We had that northeast breeze yesterday. That kept us from being so humid. It was still plenty hot, but the humidity wasn't unbearable, and this morning it feels okay up there. South of the lake sitting in the 70s, nearly the 80-degree mark in the city, and low 70s down in the bayou parishes. We do have an 80 in Buras, and it is muggy down there in Buras, sitting at 80 degrees this morning. 90 this afternoon. It's going to be a hot one. Mostly sunny skies, so don't forget your sunscreen and your sun hat. Also your sunglasses. 20% chance of an isolated shower. Don't think we see a lot of rain today. But there could be an isolated one. Look at our temperatures for the weekend. Going to be a great beach or lake or pool weekend. 90 to 91 to 92. It's going to be a hot one. And then next week we're staying in the 90s. So it's a June forecast here. And really the good news is the humidity isn't terrible. It's not like what we're probably going to see in August like we know. But it will kind of fluctuate, and then I think next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you'll notice the humidity is starting to increase, but much more noticeable in the afternoons, and that's when your heat index values start to get up towards that triple-digit mark. So staying plenty hot. This is nothing really out of the norm for early June, though, and we don't have any big tropical threats to anyone, so that's a win there. And our rain chances aren't that high today. Now, tomorrow and Sunday, I think we'll have a better chance of some isolated storms popping up through the day. So if you're going to be out and about, you may see a storm or two, but it's not going to be a widespread washout of an event. Next week, we're going to stay in the 90s. It'll be hot. It will be a little bit muggier, and we'll be watching for scattered showers and thunderstorms.